Welcome back to LDB Games. I'm Lord Darth Balls, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. If you like playing Raid Shadow Legends and you like watching YouTube videos about it, you can support my channel for free by going down below and clicking that subscribe button. Go ahead and click that like button if you like the video, and if you want to be notified as soon as I release content, hit that little bell to get the notifications. In this video, I'm going to go through how I farm the Ice Golem's dungeon. Now, the fusion just went live, and the first two things that we got going on are the Dungeon Divers event, where we need 3750 points, and the Ice Golem tournament, where we gotta farm the Ice Golem's Peak to get some artifacts and get 2250 points. Now, I've put about 20 multi-battles into this tournament already, and you can see it's probably about a day's worth of multi-battles to finish off this tournament. Now, one of the things that I love that they do now with fusions is that when there is an event or a tournament for a dungeon, they enable super raids, which allows you to spend 2 times the resources on a single run and get 2 times the artifacts and therefore 2 times the points on the rewards from the run, making it easier to complete these tournaments and events. Now, there's a few things to consider when it comes to this boss. On one hand, the second wave is actually a little bit of a variable. I've gotten my team to the point where they can kind of just bulldoze it, but for a very long time, these two little dogs here, I believe they're terror beasts, and their shriek ability has caused me quite a bit of problems. You'll notice my Bad-el just procced a stun. I got him in a stun set. I'll go over that in a second. But yes, I can get through this wave pretty quickly. However, if you don't have the kind of power that I do on your champions, having a champion with an AoE block buffs is critical for making it through this wave without any serious issues. So champions like Ugo, top tier champion, decreased defense and block buffs. Tuhanarek has block buffs and it can become an AoE ability. And actually Norog, one of the OG legendary pigs, right? He's got an AoE block buffs ability, which in reality, this is the only place aside from now Hydra that he's good in the game because of that A2, that AoE block buffs. He also has block active skills on his A1, which is great for those shrieks if you don't have his A2 back yet, so you can lock one of them out. Now, you'll notice he just knocked out a couple of my guys because one of the big things about this guy Clysis is he's got HP thresholds, just like the Iron Twins dungeon. I'm pretty sure they modeled Iron Twins after this guy's boss mechanics. And when he hits one of these thresholds, it's called Frigid Vengeance. It procs a nice big hit. Now, that hit will revive any of his dead minions. If his minions are not dead, it does even more damage, right? If there's one of them that's alive, it'll ignore 50% of your team's defense, and if both of them are still alive, it will ignore 100% of your defense, which makes it very difficult to clear using champions like Royal Guard, right? Enemy max HP champions like Royal Guard or Seer, because you can proc that Frigid Vengeance with the minions still up, and you could catch a full team wipe. Now, you can see this is about a 2-minute run that I got going on here. And frankly, I don't really have the motivation to tweak it to a speed team. Ice Golem's Peak is probably my least favorite dungeon. And it's because the set rewards are pretty lackluster, comparatively speaking, right? Life, offense, defense, crit rate, they're good in the early game. They get massively power crept as you get even towards the mid game. Resistance is good, but it's niche. It's for when you need to build high resistance champions. And back in the day when I first started, high resistance champions weren't even a thing. There was no content except for really unique arena teams that utilized high resistance, and it didn't even work out very well. It's become more of the meta now, and the Iron Twins, like I went through in my video yesterday, I'll pin to that so you guys can check it out. I believe that the mechanics of the Iron Twins were designed to force you to build a super high resistance team. However, there's ways around that. Retaliation's not bad in my opinion. It gets a lot of flack, but I think it's really good for champions who have a unique A1. Like I have my Dark Kale. I'll pin my dragon video up top so you can see him. He's got his A1 that can actually activate poison and HP burns. So when he has that chance to counterattack, it can just do some extra damage with poisons and HP burns out there. Cursed is absolute trash, one of the worst sets in the game. And Provoke has come up a little bit since they've nerfed that one Hydra head, and you can now provoke them. This allows you to just increases your chances of controlling that head, giving you a better chance of having a better run. Reflex is the shining star in this dungeon. This has a 40% chance to reduce random skill cooldown by 1 turn and can be incredibly clutch. So let's go over my team, because one of them used to actually be in Reflex. Okay, there's nobody in the vault anymore. Recently used. Beautiful. So, Lydia, I just did a guide on her. I'll pin to that up top so you can check it out. She's in for the obvious decreased defense and weaken, along with the strengthen and increased speed. She's got block buffs on her A3. In the instance that the AI just works out on round 2, I'm not, OCD about it where I click the champions to try to get it. If it happens, it's great. If not, you can see I could kind of push through that wave anyway. But the poison sensitivity is huge because we talked about the HP thresholds that Clysis has. When those thresholds are breached with poison damage, it will not proc Frigid Vengeance. So an incredibly powerful, rare champion for this dungeon is actually Frozen Banshee. Frozen Banshee. And it's why I bring in Bad-el for the poisons. So her poison sensitivity here has the ability to just allow me to do more damage from those poisons. And then her A1 extends those poison sensitivities. So it's just going to be up the entire time. Now, another really cool piece of her kit that I go over in her video has to do with the 2 minions. Because you can block revive or prevent the revival of those minions so that you don't have to worry about taking them down. Her passive blocks every 7 turns, obviously, because it's got a seriously long cooldown, will prevent those minions from getting revived, which just makes it so you can just attack the boss, right? You don't have to take the minions down first or run the risk of getting a Frigid Vengeance proc. You could just do all your damage to the boss. Now, that is why I have Rotos in there, but we'll get to him in a second. But her stats, enough accuracy to do her job, enough resistance to resist all the freezes that Clysis puts out, and enough effective HP to stay alive, and speed just to keep her turns going and her abilities coming back. Partnered with her as a support champion, I got my Dutchess in here. She is in here mainly for her A2 and her passive. This is just straight up damage mitigation. Her A2 has that perfect veil for more damage mitigation, has the increased attack to get my damage dealers doing more damage, and block debuffs to try to prevent those freezes that Clysis can put out, which can get kind of annoying. I have her a fast tank, high effective HP, really fast speed, and high resistance so that she doesn't take any debuffs. My Bad-el that I have in here, and this one that I'm running, I have 2 built. This one's built in a stun set, and I just started experimenting with this guy. I actually have him built for Clan Boss, so he's built with enough accuracy to do his job. He's built moderate speed, right, kind of average, but he's built with some damage. And I did that because his A1 has a heal based on the damage inflicted. And his A2 brings the poisons and the continuous heals. So he's a top tier champion for just keeping your team alive and topping up their health. And then his passive, I love this. This is one of my favorite passives, right? It's the opposite of Dutchess. Dutchess is damage mitigation. Bad-el is damage amplification. When you have poisons out, your champions do 20% more damage. And I got him on Brimstone as well. My other Bad-el is actually built in Reflex, the gear set that you get from Ice Golem. And he's built with high resistance so that he would avoid those freezes and then be able to cleanse them off. However, I've noticed that the combination of the stun set for Wave 2 to potentially lock out those Terror Beasts and the Brimstone that I put on him for Clan Boss actually shaved some time off my run. Helped me get my personal best recently, which was sub 2 minutes. I think it was like 150 or somewhere in that ballpark. But I go back and forth kind of playing around with them, see which one's best. Now, in terms of my damage dealers, I bring in Rotos the Lost Groom because he's just a monster. But the main reason that he's in there is actually for his A3. Because I was talking about those minions before, right? When he uses his A3 Faded Destruction on one of those side ads, he blocks their revive, which then just enables me to take the boss down faster and not have to worry about those Frigid Vengeance procs. His abilities are just top tier, and I have him built in Relentless, so sometimes he can just catch a nice string of attacks over and over and over and over again. And his damage is based on both attack and HP, which is interesting, right? And so I have him built, I didn't go too hard on the HP. I went some nice crit damage over here, decent speed, a little bit of defense. But his A2 will actually increase his own max HP, which gives him more damage and then enables the block revive, which is pretty cool. And I have Soul Reap on him. I use him in Arena as well. So just an extra hit to finish off an enemy or finish off the boss or something of that kind. And then the last guy was a recent addition to this team, and I was looking for ways to speed the team up without completely rebuilding the team. I built Fahrakin the Fat for my clan boss team. I'm probably going to do a video about my team in the near future to showcase it a little bit. But he comes in with an ally attack, helps increase damage, and he comes in with more poisons and HP burn, which combined with Bad-el's poisons, Bad-el's poison amplification, damage amplification passive, and Lydia's poison sensitivity just helps do more and more damage against the boss. You'll see I have him in Cruelty as well to help decrease the defense of the boss during his hits. And he does have a decreased defense, but again, Lydia's got that on her A2, so it's really not that important. So that's my team, right? And you can see it's about a 2-minute run. And again, I don't really like Ice Golem. It's really not. The only time I will ever farm Ice Golem is when there is a fusion or fragment event, or they've added some kind of top tier reward to the rewards tree in the event or the tournament. But there it is, guys. If you are going for this fusion, good luck. It looks like it's going to be a difficult one from the map. If you guys want me to do a breakdown of how I suggest you go about beating this fusion, let me know. I can do that in an upcoming video. Otherwise, if you've gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your viewers. And if you haven't already, make sure you go hit that little subscribe button down there and hit that little thumbs up and give me a like. I'm going to let this run play out. I'll catch you all in the next video. Enjoy your raid.